In the first video, I have explained how you can easily set up this 100x Sol project locally using these steps. And these are the environment variable example file that you have, in which you have to replace the database URL, and you can easily contribute this. In this, we are going to do this task. Inside the 100x Sol, inside the contest page, we have to create another type of test, which we would be initialized or created once the threshold is made. Once the threshold is made, then a user can start a test without paying money, and he would earn money. How this threshold would be, or the bounty amount would be collected, and how this works using Solana, we would see in this video. So let's start creating inside the page.tsx file. As we have the premium page, we would copy this and we are going to use another one, but the type is in test. If we go to the test page, as we have provided another type, it would fetch the database and filter this out and would give us those test card with the test.type is equal to type that we have provided in the props. Inside the test card, you can see that is contest is getting test.isContest. We will go to test.card and make some changes there. So we have to change this values dynamically. For that, the value we have is contest. If it's premium, it would show the bounty amount, but we would change this with a threshold. If is premium is true, it will show us this. But else, if is contest is true, then it would show us, it would return the same span, but with some of the changes. And if that is also not the true, then we will return null. So bounty fee multiple paid users, but now we gonna use the we would do this, as this would be a undefined. Let me see the spellings. The spellings are correct. So we have to update the database and include this into our test card. Once that is true, first we have to get this from the test page. For that, we have to include this into the prop. Uh, and we have to give this a type, which would be a number. And inside the test page, now there's a task we have to do. Now see, this gives not an error because when we are fetching the get tests, we are not giving it a type when we are set tests into the fetch test, and this have the any type. If we do have a type, then this would give us an error. So let's go to the get test action, and we would say, so colon true, and that does not work because we have to provide this into the test table. This is a Prisma folder, schema.prisma, and we have there the test. There we should have a threshold, which is also float, and we have to give it a default value, which is 0 by default. So why do we have to give it a default value? As this is the production already deployed website, and into that we already have a table, some tables which are the test tables, and there this new column is not present. If we do include this column, this would cause a Prisma error, because it would say that the values that you have first provided, the first test we have, that does not include this value. So we have to include this and give it a default type. Now I have to migrate this database. And once that is done, I have to generate the database. This may take some time. Till that, we can do some other things. Once that is done, this does not give an error. Everything would be working fine. So as we get this, we can go to the test card where we were using THRSH. So this is okay, but we have to change this a bit more. Threshold would be there, the number of questions would be there, and there would be a duration for the test for user to take. And obviously it is not premium, so it wouldn't say pay Sol. Instead it would say start test. But if the threshold is not achieved, okay, so Prisma is migrated, npx Prisma generate. Okay, this is done, and now see that the test. So zoom bar is teaching me. Now the test is this is not giving us an error because the Prisma clients are generated. So inside the test card, I should have another one that if it is a contest, it will check. It will check that if the threshold is reached, then there should be an user be able to start the test. So let me see how can we do that. Start test. So we could dynamically choose this value that if threshold is less than such bounty amount or such bounty amount. But for now, to make it simple, we would use this as we could use this. This could work in the production. This would not cause any errors. Why is this giving me an error? Okay, so this contest, and now this should give us a button, but on click would not be there, and instead of this, it would show us the message over the threshold and threshold, that how much threshold is reached and how much is less, so users can get the feedback that when this would start actually. Okay, so this gives us this information. But if that is contest and okay, so if that is contest and threshold is equals to 0.01, double equals, we don't have to assign the value, we have to check. So most of the time, three equals are used. Three equals are used to check also that if the value is the similar and also the type. So we are going simple, and then this would else, so it wouldn't show anything null, and this would show us an button exactly similar to this, or the button, this one button. Yes, that one button. Because this button do include the logic of if the person is not logged in, that it would show us the auth model. Okay, so instead of saying peso, it would say start test. So this is done, and now the test should be working. We do not have to make another changes. The video will be provided. Okay, so there will be a button. If that is admin, then reward top users. and it would give them the reward depending upon the who 10% users were there. But this is there is some another problem, because in premium test there could only be a 20 users, so we do not need that in the contest. Yes, their paired user is less than 20. So how could we change that? Paired user is less than 20, then do show this paired user is greater than 20. So let's go simpler and exactly similar to this. Even in the contest, there should only be a 20 users. The more earlier a person came, the more the chances he has to win the contest. So the threshold we have set is 0.01, and this threshold is the amount that we have to fill. So we don't have this application is our full social. So this is not even spending some money. So this is not spending a money from users that would pay Sol while taking the premium test. So we would deduct some of the amount from there and we would add up into this threshold so that this would increase gradually. And once that reaches this level, then users should be able to start this test. Okay. And so there's one another task we have to do is that we have to, in the page.ts, we have to include a button. We could do that there. There, say test. And there would be a button that would say create test. Once this button is clicked, then a model appears, and using that model, only the admin would be able to create a test that is of type contest. Okay, so button create test would use on click and would say set form action to true, or set of form action model to true. Oh man, spelling sucks. And now we would set the form these states. So there, if I have to do this const, so whenever we are using the states, we have to create the component client component. So for that, we will use client, and then inside this, I'm setting the value set form model uh, to true. For default, this value would be a false, and its type would be a boolean. I think stripe is boolean, set form model, and the form model. So create test set form model. So there we would use a form model. So we do not have to create this from scratch, because I have created once the auth model, so I can also create the form model. Okay, this is the auth model. I would copy this and inside this component form model test form model dot css. Inside it, I would paste this, and instead of this login sign up sort of things, so this is okay. This is okish. Instead of this button, let me change this a bit. So for there, we would be using a form. Now we have to choose what are the values we need from the admin to create a test. So for that, the simplest and the easiest step is to go to the schema.prisma file. Inside this, first we need the test description, then duration, then image URL, questions. This is a bit confusing because we have to provide this into the JSON format, and for that, this word looks a kind of bad, but admin dashboards are not quite UI friendly. Then a type, and it is not premium, so not these fields, not even this one field, but these two fields, and only these two fields, and these fields. So let's go to the test page, I think. Or yes, the contest for model. Okay, so what is the title of the contest? And we will copy this. Sorry, I'm not quite good with the UI, but we will try to make this a bit better. Description, and then type. The type should be an enum, but let's go a bit simpler. The type, and then threshold, threshold, type, description. I think we do need some more things. Okay, so image URL, questions, and duration. Then duration of the test. And then we can also do the seed.ts files. So we do not have to use this, but there another functionality we can include, that is some organization scheme, and those organizations should be able to start test manually. So when sign up, we would ask them, are you an organization? We would authorize them accordingly, and once that is set up, then we can we would allow them to create that test. Not only the admin, they can also for invite only for users. So then we will also include the invite only column into the test table, so they would be able to conclude a test, and only the users with invite only string or secret key would be only to take the test. So that is why I'm getting this, even though that is not necessary for this. You can also use seed.ts file and seed the data. Duration of the test, and then we do need the, what else is premium, is test. I think I could do this like boolean. And then there is, what else I need? This contest is done. I think all the fields are done. Let me count this. One, two, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The questions is missing. It's also include the questions. The questions would not be included like that, but we can ask the ChatGPT to generate some questions, and then we would paste that there. And that would be a JSON sort of format. Let's see, it's a test text, or can say this JSON questions. No. These are a number of questions that do not, we do not have to include into this. Okay, so that is a bit more challenging. The test questions are another table which are linked to this. So how can I create a form in which I would give it a, so I think. Let's go to schema.prisma. You don't have the questions. Uh-huh. Okay, so question is not another table, it's the same. Okay, so now it's simple. Okay, this is done. I think most of the things are done. We just have to make them a bit cleaner, give them classes. Oh no, I have to give them all. So let's give this one classes. Class name flex dash column gap dash 4. And action would be this one on submit. Uh, I have to create this async function. This one is, I think this on submit is equal to an async function that I just have to create to create for that I also need to create the action server action to create the test. So this is done, and I also have to use, okay, so let me, let's start simple. And I do not have to change this, just the name. Yes, just the name. Form model. I have to copy this one, paste, and then now I would use this into the test page. Oh, sorry, test card. Test card inside the test card. Okay, so once that is no, not in test, not in this test page. Once that create test button would be clicked, there should be a form model. This one, and this needs two things. What would happen on the on clause? This would be an async function. So this would say set form model, oh man, form model to false. And another thing it needs is open. So there would have to provide this a value form set form model was the form model. I think this one. Yes. So initially it would be a false, so there would be a no modal open. But once the user clicks on the create test, then this would appear. So let me give it a bit better classes. Padding dash two, padding dash two, and then color widget dash green dash 950. Oh man, white maybe looks good, but this one looks more better. Oh, this is done. This is done. This is done. So the only the backend logic is still not done, but let's see if that is working or not. So this is not giving us an error. Let's go to this. This is the website that we have deployed. Let's go to the local host. I think I'm recording. Yes, I am recording. The go to contest page. Which may, okay, nice, that's good. So we are already seeing this create test. So one of the first thing I have to do is that this should be rounded a bit more plain. This button, this button, this button. So these should be in flex. How could I do that? Why this? Oh, that is so bad. Oh, sorry. This should be in flex with the. This should not be inside that button, and this text should be flex. That's exactly similar. I have to change this a bit. Or I have no change. This is getting the margin from the top. That is why this gets that front. How to fix that? I could give it a width, which would be, for example, 40 pixel. Oh man, I don't have to give it a width. I have to give provide some height. Let's see what would be that. Okay, okay, okay. Now this looks good, and this is working as fine. I am getting all the. I just have to make this a bit more cleaner by one. So I need a button to submit this and an action to create this test actually, so that this could be a pair there, and then the authorization. If the only the session contains the Gmail of the admin, then this create test button appears. So for that, I need to go into the form model. Oh man, I have to change every single. I can also do this one. Oh, that's no good. This have some like minimum height. I also have to change that. This do have a minimum height. This wasn't V50 background opacity and fixed. So let's first. What the hell, this user added a threshold colon true and then threshold is not provided. That mostly happens because I have created a database change and now I have to do this. Control C and then again npm run dev. If that does not work, I have to generate the Prisma client again and then again initialize this locally using npm run dev only one command. So before that, I need a button. I think we do include this inside the form, and there on click is equal to on submit. I think okay. So this is not like that. First, we have states for all of these, so we can store the information put by user into a state. So we can use Google somehow. How can I do this on click? So, oh man, this is so slow. Button type is equal to submit. Everything is almost done. I just have to create get title set title is equal to use state title set title, and I have to copy this for 8 times. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Now I would say description, duration, and then comes up the questions, and then the threshold for the values, and keep forgetting is contest. And then there is like what else the values were, type and image URL, type and image URL set. It should give me any suggestions. Okay. No, now it's all done. I just have to use this function on change this. There includes the event. As the event change, event dot data would be in the. Let me copy this one first and paste in all of these. Copy, paste, paste, and there I need set title to e dot target dot value. So why is this giving me an error argument? Toy string is not assignable to parameter type. Set state action is undefined. I have to provide this an error. Oh, sorry, type. So this is string or null. So null. Okay, so string or null. This is again a string or null. This is also, this is a number, I think. This is a JSON value. Can I give it a type of JSON array, JSON object? Can I do this? Okay, that works. That threshold was a number. I think I don't give it a float type. FLOAT, float 32, array, float. These are array of floats, but there's no way I could provide. So let's talk to the simpler variant, which is number, and then a boolean, a string, and this is also a string. After that, I have to do this set title. Why I did this there? The title was the Oh man, I'm confused. This was set description. Okay, so I don't have such. Now we have to include all of these set props. Actually, is not working. The keyboard. Oh no, it's working. Set. No, you have to put the load where this is kind of annoying. Set threshold to e dot target dot value. Oh man, validate message. Yes, in there. Okay, the value comes from the event is a string, but we are providing it a number, so we have to change it somehow. First, we have to, so we can give it a type of any. Now we have to create this server action to create the test. So we'll copy the name, go to the actions page, and we will create the test actions. Inside this, I need the index.ts file, and in this, I have to create this testing function.
And there we have to provide the data, and once that is done, we will return the contest. I think we should return the message and success. As you will see it in the success column, that success will be true, and we would make this a try catch. So if that fails, it should give us the success column false. And there we have to give it some message. Oh man, the message colon test created successfully. And if that doesn't, what gives me an error? Minority will return successful false. Left side of comma operator is unused. Spelling mistake, I think. Return typos are so inside the data we have to give this all these values, and for that I have to create this one, and then one by one on this description colon description, and all of the values are given. Okay. I think this one may cause an error. Is contest there should be some sort of boolean type of value, so I don't have to write. um, I think this type should be there. It gives us one solution to create. Use the component in the page. The it's a check mark. The check is marked when it is boolean or is contest, else it is not. So I think I don't need this. Was we would provide this true this contest, because only if it is a contest, then we would allow the admin to create the test. So we can give it a default value of, first so I have to get this from the, is the name. Oh, I'm not exporting. Once that is done, I would give, Button that should be displayed is not being in the form. And let's see how to debug this. This button should be there. The create contest and that is not being displayed. Why is this so? It's not working. Ratio. Let's remove this fixed sort of thing. See if that works now.
I don't know why it was giving some errors, but maybe it was because the caching issue. I just reload this one to time and now the create test is working fine. So we have to provide all of these fields with the data. And once we click on the create contest page, this will create and then that would be displayed here. So let me recheck everything on close on type is equal to button on submit. The handle submit function would happen. I have created some of the UI changes and some of the optimizations on the create test. This is the data I am providing. And on success, I would get the alert and index.ts. Everything is almost working fine. We just have to give it a data. Let's see if that works or not. So the title is Solana Fundamentals. Description Solana Fundamentals. Type of contest. So type is CONTST. This should be exactly similar. There should be an enum or the drop down to give us that what is the type, but we can give this like the threshold is 0.001 sol. The image URL we can get Solana images. We can copy the address for now, and this looks good, but this is not free. This one is good. The duration of the test is 10 minutes, and the questions. Now this is a bit hard. So let me get from there. Or I can do one another thing, go to the Neon console and just copy the questions from the premium any one of the premium test table. Shit. Once I clicks on the create contest button, there should be an alert. I should also open the console to see if that happens. If any error came, what is the error? Oh shit. Let's see. Okay, so Prisma client, any server action which is using Prisma or dealing with the database should be a server component. So we will make this a server file, and now this should work, but we have to give it a data again. I think
How can change this position? Oh, I have created this again. Why is this? It should give me an alert. Prisma client is unable to run the browser environment or has been. I have to I think resolve this. While sending the create contest server action or the HTTP request to database to create another test of type contest. Once we click on this button, this one action happens, and this gives us this one duration has the invalid value because in the database schema.prisma file we have declared that duration and the threshold are the integers, but we are providing them the value of string as when we get the value from the target in the input field we get back a string. So we have to convert that into this, and then we would be able to use this action, and now it will work as fine. So let's go click on this create contest button, and now test created successfully immediately. So to verify if that works or not, we will pause this. The first thing is not this, we should reload this, and there should be one appears in this section. Let's see if that works or not. If not, then we will debug this again. Yes, this one, this works, and this was pretty much easy. We can start the test. So this is not good. So questions, duration. and the threshold. Some of the things are not working. Let's see what is the data being passed to the database. So this is the new duration is okay. The questions are okay. Title type is contest. Bounty amount is null. Fee is null. Is contest true. Is premium false. Total fee. Paired users. Image URL. A threshold is not given. Don't we have provided a threshold? Well, so I think we haven't provided this a threshold this time. Let's see if that's correct. That's okay. So only issue is that in the questions it should the start has to not be working because the threshold is oh sorry. So the logic was if the threshold is the test card button, if it's contest, it should provide us a threshold, and I have not provided the threshold, so that is why it's giving me error. So that is not an issue, but why is it? So if is contest and the threshold is lesser than 0.01, then it should give me this. I do not have to actually provide a threshold should be a zero, and obviously that is lesser than 0.01, and it should show me the threshold instead of a button to click. So let me debug and then I will come back to you. So now this is working. The only issue was that before going to even down to this one if condition, which was before the is contest, it was first getting this one that if it is not contest, which is or actually it is, then the start test button should appear. So now this works fine, and I think everything is fine. We have to create another one to give it an threshold because initially the threshold will be a zero, and once someone pays all, some of the amount from that would be deducted for the uh, this contest, and then it would be added into this. so that the threshold once the made user should be able to start the test. So let's create the logic. So once I click on the threshold, nothing should happen, and nothing happens. So that is fine. So now I have to write the logic to include some of the amount which would be deducted from there and should be the threshold should be increased. The threshold value should be increased. So for that, and another thing that once the top users are made, there should be a button once the number of the test takers would be 20. Then instead of their threshold or start test, the button should say reward top users. So I have to make some changes in the server action. After thinking of it, it was quite easy because whenever someone came to pay Sol, so this test, for example, these are all the test cards. And some of the test cards have a pay Sol button, so these are premium. So if that test card is premium, and once the user clicks on the pay Sol, that handle test payment click button, the server action would take all the process, and the first action will happen is the make payment. Make payment is an action that would somehow deduct the money from the user wallet and transfer it to this public ID. So this is the admin wallet. Now we have the amount of money deducted from the users. So we can a fraction amount of this phase get by dividing this by 10 or some any amount, and then update that amount into this server action. This server action, we will create the server action into the contest action, and this will update. What is this now? I don't know, but this VS Code is giving me some issues. Whenever I enter something, this, so now it's fine, I think. So I would create the server action inside the actions contest actions, and in this I would try to that I have to make this action an async, and I would await over prisma dot, I think it was test dot thr threshold. Oh sorry, update. I have to update this. Okay, wait. So there we can update any contest. So we will update where is contest is true exactly, and ID colon. So I think we should have only one contest at a time. The admin should not be able to create another contest. Once the one contest is ended, it would start again once the threshold is made. There's no need to create another contest. So there's no need of ID. There should be only one test with this value true. So where this happens and where this is true, the total fee instead of decrement, we would increment by the amount it is getting from
as a prop, which was the charity amount. We would increase this value by this. Charity amount wise, this giving me an error is customer is not assignable type that's where unique input. It's not assignable type ID colon number. Why can't we do this that way? This is to do this. First, let me use this inside the test card. By the test card, deduct the charity amount. I have to export this from there. Once that is exported, I can use this in my client component. And now I have provided this a charity amount to increase the threshold by the fees divided by some fraction amount. And inside this, this is updating the, we could give this a type of number. Responsibility is not to test route update where is contest is true. Total fee. I think this should work, but this is giving me an error that we cannot use is contest as an checkpoint to see to update the test. So let's put it on types. Let's just select further. Should be unique. Let me debug this for a time and I will come back to you. To make this work, we have to update as many tests as we have inside the test table. All the rows which have the is contest true will be updated because we can create more than one, but we would not because in this the payment would be increased in all of the contest, but we would not be charging that much from the user. So the correct way to implement this is only create the one contest and then we could even use update many if we have only one contest there's no issue, so we do not need that start button now, so we would also disable that. Now whenever the user pays, the charity amount would be deducted from the fees, and I think we have to update somehow another thing. There will be finance sort of system we have to implement because now the fees we are charging the user is, for example, one sol, and we are when we have to give them the reward, we are giving them the world port, but if we are deducting the charity amount from the admin, we should not give this as a reward to users for per premium test. So when I'm clicking on this reward of users, I should deduct the 10% amount from their reward of users. Instead of using the test or total fee, we would divide this test or total fee by 10 and then deduct that value from the total test fee. Ah.
Now let's test this in the browser. Let's reload this. Now, as I clicks on the pay soul and pay, some of the amount should be increased, and that should be displayed in threshold where now is 0. Clicks on the pay soul. Please connect your wallet first. Select wallet phantom connected pay soul. Let me provide a password so that there should be an alert happens that payment successful. Now, if I reload, this should say the start test, and this should say some amount. Whenever someone clicks on the peso, so the amount increased, the bounty amount increased. So there are a number of 3 users. So there are the fees for 0.0001 sol. So now the bounty amount is increased, but somehow the threshold is not increased. So that should be increased whenever someone pays sol. This function should work to deduct the money. Let's see the console of that console. It's no such in the console, and why I'm seeing 0 at threshold. Why is this so? The threshold is updated or not? Oh shit. Instead of updating, so this is the one other fallback of the AI because it just gave me that much code and I didn't even see that this is a total fee and it should be a threshold. Now this is a threshold, and once I would click on the pay all button, the threshold would be increased instead of the total fee. The total fee jargon is being like updated in some another server action when user pays all. So once the user pays all, he has to submit the test, and then the user would be able to pay again. I'm just submitting a random answer. Oh man, that was. So now if I go back to the contest, I have to pay Soul again. Let's pay the Soul and let's see what happens. So confirm transaction. If I click on the confirm transaction, okay, so this should say start test and the threshold should increase. I think this should work. Confirm, and the first it should give me a alert that this happens. Okay, thanks. Now it reloads. Now I think, oh no, that is working as fine. As he clicks on the pay as whole button,
This video was a bit slower, but at the end we have achieved what we wanted to achieve. Now we have created the contest, test, the type of test, and we have created the threshold. Once the threshold is made, which is a hard coded value 0.01, so I think I have written this into the test card component. Once that is made, still that is so lower. I think 100 or 1000 people if pay soul, then this would achieved, and then instead of this threshold, this button, there would be a start test button. And once someone clicks on this, its leaderboard would be updated. And then once the 20 people has given the test, then there would be a button reward top users. Then we would reward the top users. And again, the threshold that was threshold would be 0. I think I also have to update that. But I would give you the task, like everyone who is watching this, you are now should be able to update the server action a little bit and optimize this code a bit. This works fine, but there are some optimization data required. So, but one of the first thing that I have to change that this create test should be disabled now. See, that is working. If I click on this status, nothing happens. But we would make this dynamic because if it is an organization, he can create as many contests as much he wants. But that I would also give you a task that as I have created this, you have to create another button and on which another form should appear. That form should have the same values as this form, but some of the values would be different. Like is contest is true. Instead of that, there should be like is invite only. And for that, you also have to update the schema.prisma file. And if that is invite only, then what is the invite code? And when the user is the admin organization user, whatever he is, the organization admin or their principal or some anyone. So he has to now also include the threshold if he wants to. So make some changes and contribute to this project heavily so that we could raise the funds from the Solana community. And if that happens, then we can make this web application which is decentralized and a very good way to for users to earn money. We would scale this to hundreds of thousands of users. So for now, this was all. Should I also summarize this? I think I should summarize this using Excalibur. So we have a contest page. Instead of this, we have so many contests, so many type of tests like basic or premium. But we have created another inside the basic test. User were not earning anything. Inside the premium test, user were earning the whole port. If 20 users came and only obviously two top users will win. So 20 users pay 0.1 Sol, it comes up to be 2 Solana. So which is 230 or $60. So top two users will win the whole pot. But for that, users have to pay 0.1. So we have now created a type of test which is a contest, like the one in which user don't have to pay, but if the threshold is made, which would be collected from the users who are paying Sol. If that is made, then user will be able to start the test, which is a contest of type. And once that is done and the 20 people, the first 20 people made this condition, once that condition is made, then user should be able to start the test. Oh, sorry. Then there would be a button appears, reward top user for the admin. And the admin is one with the email, certain email that is being provided in the code somewhere. And if that is true, then admin will click on the reward top users, and the top users on that list would earn an award. In this way, users don't have to pay, but still they would be earning this depending upon the their knowledge that they have used during the test. Okay, so this was all about, I think, and after that, I would also post more and more videos to optimize this code a bit. If no contributors came, I would be contributing heavily unless we got an funding. And if you like to learn the open source contributions, how this works, then you should, I think, contribute this, because now you should be able to understand that how payment is working and how this UI is. Most of the component you have to just copy from another one and then paste, and then this works as fine. Now I gonna build this. Let's see if we have had some errors or not. If we have had some errors, we have to fix them, and there should be some typo or the type errors. If that happens, we have to fix them, and then we would deploy to version. And for the first, I would push these changes to GitHub, and then we would deploy this. It's compiled successfully, but linting and checking validity of type somehow most of the time gives an error. So see, we get an error, key colon ID is going to, something is messed up. There's a type error. Inside the premium test card, I haven't changed the premium test card. Okay, so inside the test card, inside the component, we would go to test card, and on the 74 line, there's nothing on the 74 line. Okay. On the test page, inside the premium test page, yes, there's an issue. We have been using this test card in two components, and we were only dealing with the test page, not the premium test page. So there is one inside the components premium test. There we would also have to provide that prop, which is, I think I just, this contest is equal to test. And the second was, I think, threshold. Now it should work. Now there's no such error. Let's see. Why don't it go stuff? Oh, sorry. Now everything's working as fine. And now I'm going to stop the recording, and I will upload this video on the YouTube. And there you can get all the instructions to set up a project and to see how is this project is working. And then you would be able to contribute in this project easily. Thank you. Thanks for watching.